Hey there, besties. Let's see what we got going on here. From Yahoo, more American women are single than ever before, and it's costing them big money. But let's see what they're talking about. This is a recent article, March the 18th. Next time Beyonce asks for all the single ladies to put their hands up, there may be a bigger crowd than you think. Everyone is always referencing single ladies. Shout out to Beyonce. That song will be living in infamy forever. Nearly 118 million Americans, or about 46% of those over 18, are single, according to U.S. Census Bureau. That would make sense that they would know. But that percentage is actually much higher for women. A record-breaking 52% of them are unmarried or separated as of 2021, according to a recent report from Wells Fargo Economics. Shout out to Wells Fargo. The growing number of Americans who have never married, either because they decided to get married later in life or forego getting hitched altogether, have driven the rise of single women in the U.S. The share of never married women increased 20% over the past decade, according to Wells Fargo analysis. The growing number of single adults helps to normalize Americans' decisions to remain uncoupled and broaden social trends. Is that a good thing? In fact, 68% of Americans believe that the stigma of being single is gradually diminishing, according to a recent survey by the Harris Poll. Yet single women still tend to face more challenges when building wealth. Now, this is what I will say. There shouldn't be a stigma for people that want to be single. Listen. If you want to be single, then be single. If you don't want to be married, then don't be married. Why should there be a stigma about that? There shouldn't be. You should be able to be whichever one that you want it to be. Have at it, go girl, go boy, whoever. Fine. The problem comes, in my opinion, when you have children. Because why would you want to subject your children to, one, a life of poverty, two, a life without their father, three, the not having a nuclear family, which is good for the kid. And four, honestly, it helps everyone involved. You have someone to play off of. You have someone to support you. You have someone that will help out with the kid and the house and everything that go along with it, in addition to the building of the wealth. I've said this before. I'll say it again. The quickest and fastest way to build wealth, first of all, is to come together. Now, all this story does not specifically say Black people, but I'm going to always bring it back to them because you're the ones. I'm Black, no offense against anyone else. So no matter what they say, at the end of the day, I would like to see more Black people make it as opposed to just sit and suffer, whine and complain and do nothing, right? Instead of trying to be so independent, I can do it all by myself. You can come together with someone, preferably the person that you plan to have children with, build equity in real estate and finance, meaning your economics, I should say, when you're both working, you pool your funds together, you open businesses, you do it together. There's nothing wrong with that. But we be getting in our own way, not looking at the bigger picture. Continuing on. In fact, Harris finds 3/4 of Americans say that it can be more affordable to be in a relationship, especially when it comes to splitting everyday costs like housing expenses, food prices, or monthly bills. Now, this thing with the 50-50, I never understood that. I never understood that. Like, how long are you going to be doing this 50-50 stuff? If you first start living together, all right, I understand, till you figure out where somebody else lies, how much they have, what their expenses are, what their debts are, and you try to figure those things out, and then you figure and maneuver. But once you get married, based off of what I've learned, because no one told me this, meaning my parents didn't tell me about this, but things that I've read, meaning Dave Ramsey, Susie Orman, and those type people, you pool your money together. How you going to live separate when you're married? How are you going to live separate when you're in a cohesive relationship? You buying homes and real estate property and stuff like that together, but your money is separate. That don't make good God sense. Who goes into anything like that? And all singledom is not created equal, especially when it comes to gender parity. Women face not only a gender wage gap in the U.S., earning about 83 cents per dollar to men, but they also run up against a wealth gap too. The median household income for married couples was 106 as of 2021. Okay. Single women earn a median income of $51,000, while single men make $70,000. But it turns out the wealth gap is actually even wider than the pay gap, according to researchers from the Federal Bank of St. Louis. Married couples had a median net worth of just over $200,000 in 2019. All right, that sounds much better. According to the Federal Reserve's latest survey of consumer finance. In contrast, single men had a median net worth of $57,000, while single women only accrued $47,000. While that's troubling, the Fed's data includes both women who never married, as well as those who divorced and may have commingled assets at some point. St. Louis Fed says single women who never married have a lower net worth of about 71 cents per $1 compared to the median never married man's wealth, or a wealth penalty of about 29%. The picture gets even more bleak for single women with children. Well, listen, they said it. We already know, whether plenty of you want to recognize it, realize it or not. And those are the conversations that the community need to be having more so than anything, instead of thinking that getting $1,000 from Philadelphia for being a pregnant woman is making it, because it's not. But the persistent gender wealth gap highlights that it is more than just a motherhood penalty holding back women's pay. Lord have mercy. Especially since single women tend to be homeowners at higher rates than single men, and housing is a big part of most Americans' total net wealth. Can't tell black people that. You got black people out here talking about everyone doesn't have to own. It's okay that she rented for 22 years and now the landlord is putting her out. It's not her fault. Keep taking financial advice from dummies, y'all. Keep on. Researchers at Wells Fargo, however, note these dynamics could shift as single women become an increasingly important segment in the workforce and could leverage that position to potentially reduce the gender wage gap. Good luck to them. The gradual improvement in a single woman's labor market prospects could position them better to build wealth and gain spending power in the years ahead. But for now, single women often remain in a more financially fragile position than other segments of the population, according to the report. Okay. It says the story came from Fortune.com. Let's not forget the fact that if you're averaging as a single person 40-some thousand, let's just give them $60,000. Okay. You got rent, you got food, you got debt. Look, come on, let's tell the truth, shame the devil. Student loans, God knows what else. Vacations, travel. Let's not forget travel, y'all. All right. And those things are going to keep the wealth down as well. Let's not act like women don't spend more money than men. I know, I'm a woman. Okay. And then if you have a man, and we're talking about a normal man, not Pook Nug, okay, not Dontavius, all right, but a man who actually has a history of working, has worked, graduated from school, is putting in the hours, is supporting those things, that person, okay? We got to do better when we do this choosing, women, ladies, females, girls, okay? Honestly, you do what you want, of course, okay? But understand and know that your consequences are yours and all yours, and the rest of us do not care. So anybody that doesn't seem to get that still and doesn't understand the fact that people that want to go ahead and go against the grain, go do the things that don't make sense, this is the same as a kid who F's around his whole 4 years in high school and then sits there at graduation expecting to graduate. And when it doesn't happen, everyone's supposed to feel sorry for them. We don't. We're tired. Okay. It's time for people to get back to doing effing work. I don't care if it's corporate America, blue collar work, if it's self-employment, opening a business, whatever, something legal that makes sense, that contributes to society, and not out here having a bunch of kids running around like a fool, doing dastardly things in these major cities that don't make sense, sitting up here in and out of jail, all this dumb stuff. The community has plenty of things that they need to work on. But if you ain't going to follow it, fine. Don't follow it. We do not care. But we also don't care when the problems arise and then people out here want to try to guilt us into saying, oh, no empathy, no sympathy. You should care. You should care. Why should I care? Why should I care? Y'all don't care. Why should I care? Okay? Y'all like it. We love it. And we're going to have to just leave it at that. Thank you so much. If you made it this far, please consider subscribing. I will see you all in the next one.